Hello, my divine kings and queens. I'm back to do another video. In today's message, what we're going to be going over is God says, never grow weary in fighting the good fight, because in due season you shall reap the rewards. So never grow tired, never grow weary of being good. Never grow weary of doing good as unto others, because God says in the end, you will understand why it took so long and why he made you wait. Because at the end of the day, to perfect greatness, that takes time. This wasn't no overnight success for you. You understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, God says, in order for him to present you to the masses, he didn't want to present sloppy seconds. He wanted to take his time with you so that he may be able to show off his masterpiece. You understand what I'm saying? So that he would be able to show you off in the way that he wanted you to be presented, so that others would see you in the manner that he saw you, because he always saw your potential. But let me tell you something, in order to perfect greatness, that takes time. And all good things come to those who wait on the Lord. And see, the thing is, he said you will understand why it took so long, because at the end of the day, he wanted to take his time with you so that you would learn the lessons that you needed to learn, but also understand that every spiritual lesson, when you pass it, it does not always mean that there's a blessing at the end of it. Sometimes the spiritual lesson is so that you may understand who you are. It's for the betterment of you, so that you may build your spiritual knowledge, so that you may grow wiser and grow stronger. You understand what I'm saying? And be more spiritually equipped to handle the evil in the world. Not every spiritual lesson has a blessing at the end of it. So you have to understand God was taking the time to work on you, to peel back those layers where you were hiding underneath your pain, betrayals, and things of that nature. So you have to understand that in order to enjoy the fruits of your labor, you have to produce that fruit. And see, the thing is, in every cycle, in every phase that he took you, he allowed you to put in the work, because you have to understand, he didn't give you no silver spoon. He made you work for it so that you would appreciate it on a higher level when he brought those blessings your way. I just said something. You would be able to appreciate it on a higher level, knowing how long it took for you to get to this moment, knowing how long nights that you slaved, nights that you cried, nights that you went without, nights that people were doubting you and said and did not think that it would be you. And God had to humble you. God had to speak to you and tell you that even when I bless you, there are going to be people from your past, people who hurt you. And the biggest lesson of all that you're going to have to learn, so I want you to be prepared, is being able to bless those who cursed you. Being able to be a helping hand and an aid to someone who spoke down on you, who made you beg, who goaded you on, talked about you, mocked you. See, you have to understand, it was so much that you had to learn. God knew that you wasn't gonna, at the end of the day, be able to learn this in a crash course. So he had to take his time with you. Take his time with you and allow you to make your mistakes so that you will learn from those mistakes. Take his time with you so that when you did your wrong, you will be able to reflect on it and understand what you needed to do, so that next time you do it right. It takes time. And that's why it didn't happen overnight for you. But when it did come through, it came through God's speed, and everything was just coming through like boom, 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 back to back. Because at that point, you had taken the time to heal yourself. You had taken the time to learn the lessons. You had taken the time to understand from God's perspective what it is that he needed you to see, what it is that he needed you to learn. So he's saying, like, you will understand in the end why he made you wait. You didn't understand. A lot of you, I know that I spoke on this before, but I don't think a lot of you really understood why, in the midst of you struggling and looking bad, God, it's like almost, and it's not God made you. You have to understand something. A lot of us chose by our own free will to make certain decisions and choices that put us in the predicament that we was in, that God did not want us to be in. But let me tell you something, because he loves you so much, because the God that we serve is an awesome God. Yes, amen. He allowed you to make those mistakes in order to set up a blessing and orchestrate a lesson that was supposed to be learned, and you making that mistake. But he never intended for you to struggle. He never intended for you to, at the end of the day, be judged as harsh as you was. A lot of you at the end of the day didn't understand, like, you know, you have talks with God, like, why is it that I had to stay around people who were laughing at me? God, you know I was looking, you know I was looking like bad. You know I wasn't up on myself. You know that opportunities wasn't coming my way. You know I wanted to leave, and I was never afforded that opportunity to go when I wanted to go. And a lot of you didn't understand, like, why is it that I have to stay here in this? Why is it that I have to look like this? Why is it that I have to constantly be around the very same people that want me to struggle, and they have to see me struggle? Because see, at the end of the day, there's a lesson to be learned in it. Because when he brings you out of the struggle and he allows you to overcome those situations and overcome those trials and tribulations, in the end you come out stronger. In the end you come out wiser. In the end, he blesses you in front of your enemies. He ended up the same place where people cursed you. God ended up blessing you right there in that same predicament, right there in that same cycle, before he took you to the next phase of your life. That's why you didn't understand why it took so long. And he's saying, like, in the end you will understand. He was urging me to touch on this topic again, because he was like, a lot of my people are crying. A lot of my people at the end of the day still don't understand why I made them wait. Some of you still yet are waiting for your blessing. You don't understand. But see, he's telling you, like, your blessing is coming. Your blessing is right around the corner. But some of y'all had to put in that work. God did not just give you a silver spoon. And for every spiritual lesson that you conquered and that you overcame and that you learned from, there was not always a blessing set up and tied to those lessons. Some, yes, but some, no. Some of them was God wanting you to learn. Like, you see what happens when you try to go against the grain, and when you try to not listen to me, and you try to go back to people that I told you several times not to go back to. Do you see that they're unwilling to change? Their unwillingness to change is what's going to put you in a downward spiral, and you don't even see it, because you're too busy trying to be accepted by these people. You're too busy trying to be loved by people that I ain't intend for you to be loved by. I have someone that's set up for you. I have blessings that's set up for you. I have miracles with your name on it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I know what it is that you prayed to me about, and I'm trying to deliver it to you, but I need you to learn these lessons. See, some of y'all have to understand and reason with me for a little bit so that you will understand it from God's perspective. Do you really think that it would be wise for him to bless you in situations and you haven't learned lessons yet? He would have blessed you, and you would have went right back to these people and let them divvy it up, and you would have been right back in the same predicament. Maybe for some of you, if he would have given you what you wanted at the time that you wanted it, you wouldn't have appreciated it. You wouldn't have gave him thanks. You see, everything works in the manner that it needed to work, because God had you right where he needed you to be. And when he blessed you and you went through those struggles, you had no one to call or depend on but him. And so at the end of the day, he's just letting you know that whether you're being blessed currently or whether right now you're still putting in that work, I want you to continue to put in that work, because your blessing is right around the corner. In order for you to enjoy the fruits of your labor, you have to put in that work. You got to put in that labor. You got to produce that fruit. And see, God allowed you and equipped you with the gifts and the knowledge that you needed. You didn't even understand. In the midst of you learning those lessons, you knew how to go about producing that fruit. You knew how to go about putting in that work. You knew how to go about restructuring yourself, grounding yourself, healing yourself, so that you would be prepared for these blessings, be prepared for these miracles, and be prepared for the next phase and cycle of your life. My God, you will understand. If you don't already, you will. Because God loves you, and he is blessing and coming through for you in a major, 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 major way. Please believe it. Continue to put in that work, because the blessing is right around the corner. If you're not currently already being blessed, or if you've already been blessed and you understand where I'm coming from, because some of y'all have had these talks with him. Well, you're blessing me so quick, and when you started blessing me, they coming through. So why is it? It's almost as if it was on hold, like it was in a queue. You understand what I'm saying? Like you had a queue of blessings waiting. You understand what I'm saying? But God was waiting for you to learn these lessons. God was waiting to see how you was going to produce that fruit. If you was going to continue to put in that work. And that same place, the same places and settings and predicaments that people put you in, situations that people put you in, the same place where people cursed you, God is coming through and he's blessing you. And he says, you will understand in the end why I made you wait for so long for those blessings. You will understand in the end. Until next time, I want you to stay prayed up and be blessed, and understand if you need inspiration, you got it in me. If you need motivation, you got it in me. I'm your sister. I'm your friend. You already know I come with that real, never that fake. I keep it 100 with you. I keep it a buck with you. You already know. Continue to bring others to the JC gang, and know that we ride together, we slide together. JC gang for life. I love y'all. Stay prayed up and be blessed.